today. Reverend Raymont Anderson. Listen, I was looking up all the things that he has done. I don't know what contract he made before he came into this body, but holy mackerel, this man is busy. He is a reverend. He has a doctorate. He was the spiritual leader of CSL Baltimore, where I've been, and is a wonderful community. He also has a huge social media presence. If you haven't seen him there, good place to check him out. He has also spoken here before about the light, our light. Well, guess what he's doing today? I'm listening because I have chickens.
And eggs.
And eggs. Right, guys? I bring them in here. And I can't answer the question. The chicken or the egg? It's cause and effect. I'm listening with both ears and my heart. I hope you are too. Reverend Raymont.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, chicken or the egg, huh?
Right.
What if that's not the question, though? Right? Like, how often have you heard, what came first, the egg or the chicken? Like, most of the time, what came first? The chicken is usually first, then egg. Why do we always, well, not always, but why do we tend to ask the question that way most of the time? Why don't we ask what came first, the egg or the chicken? Because we're asking the wrong question. Why does it matter? In the grand scheme of things, why does it matter which came first? Pause for a second. Breathe that in. Because the whole idea of this chicken egg thing, chicken egg thing, chicken egg thing, chicken egg thing is, what came first? The finger that plucked or the dominoes that fell? What came first? Okay, that's not even the actual question. And when we think about this whole idea of karma, let us be mindful within CSL, within New Thought, we do not think of karma as, the penalty and the stuff of a former life experience being here. We think of karma in this teaching as cause and effect. Thoughts are things that create. So for us in this teaching, karma is simply how are we using our thoughts, our words, our emotions and feelings, and our actions to create the desired experience. As we've already heard, Deb said, listen here. If you want something to change in your life, put it in the prayer box, get some prayer, because it will happen. She didn't quite say it that way, but that is what she's saying, right? She said, if you want some effective change in your life, be mindful. And she specified, be clear what you want. That's more in alignment with the actual question. See, we like to do mental gymnastics regarding, well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because it keeps us in a place of comfortable asking rather than doing. So if we start with this idea of, well, what do I want? One thing that a lot of people come to me and they'll say, Reverend Ray, I want more money. I want more money. I want more money. Like, that's a thing. I want more money. And I'm like, no, you don't. And they say, yes, I do. I want more money. I want more money. I want more. No, you don't. Prove it. So I give them a quarter, because that's more money. And they're like, no, like a lot more money. I say, okay, so if I wrote you a check for $100 million, that's a lot more money, right? Yes, but you can't spend it. You have the money, but you can't spend it. You have what you asked for. Now what? Well, that don't serve the purpose, Reverend Ray. That's my point. You don't want the money. You want something else that the money gives you the ability to do. What is that? If you start with that and reverse engineer it, you're far more likely to manifest and get the thing you desire. We focus, for example, one thing we like to say is I want to be more healthy. No, you don't. You say you do. But if you could do whatever it is you do now, I eat 72 donuts a day and I drink a gallon of coffee with 4 pounds, because sugar don't come in gallons, Ray, and 4 pounds of sugar and whipped cream on the top. And I smear chocolate around the ring and you do what? If you could still do that and you could not exercise and all the things, no yoga, no nothing for health and well-being, and you could still do what you actually want to do. So it's not health that you want, it's what health represents. Health represents ease and mobility. Health represents, I don't get to see my doctor but once a year because I'm good. Like, health means I get to enjoy life. That's what you want. You want to enjoy it. And you want to enjoy it to the full. Then say that. Rather than, I want to be healthy. Because there are a lot of healthy billionaires who are miserable. So what do you really want? I want to be able to step into this thing called life fully, and I want it in overflow, and I want the orgasmic bliss of the universe moving through me, in me, and as me. That's what I want. And health is one vehicle that gives me the ability to express that. Then say that.
Amen.
Because this idea of cause and effect. Can I pick on you for a second? Since we are matching with the color green. So, what's your name?
Deborah.
Deborah. So, Deborah is holding a cup, right? Mm-hmm. If I ask Deborah to spill the contents of the cup, that's an effect, right? The cause. Did she cause it? Or did I cause it? Don't even worry about it. 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 Because if we trace it back, I asked, spill it out. But there is no ask if there is no me. Right?
I don't get it.
Which means, say again?
I didn't get that.
I can't ask if I don't exist.
Okay.
So there is no, Deborah, could you pour it out if I'm not here? So let's trace that back. What are all the things that made it possible for me to be here? Because all of the previous moments and breaths and seconds and on and on and on, all led to right here. If you don't mind, please pour that out. Now, if we added up all of everything that came before this, we literally have to go into, well, Ray, for example, how did you get here today? Did you walk? Did you drive? Did you fly? Normally I fly, but it's too much smog today, so I decided to, and I mean fly. Anyhow, that's a different conversation for a different day, because I don't usually tell people that I know how to fly, but anyhow, moving on. So, how did you get here? Drove. Okay, so the car that you drove in, what all came about to cause that effect to be? How many things had to go into place for there to be a thing called car? Got to follow the math all the way back to that. How many people had to be born to make the car that you drove? Do the math all the way back. Well, what about gas or electric? Do the math all the way back. Well, each person do the math all the way back. Do the math all the way back. It's innumerable and unfathomable how many things go before this moment right here. That made this moment, if you don't mind, could you pour it out? That made that even possible. Now, why am I even mentioning this? Because oftentimes in this teaching, we are so single focused on individual things and one thing and how life doesn't matter, or prayer doesn't matter, or meditation doesn't matter, or this doesn't matter, or anything. And we overly simplify things to the degree that we surrender our power. Because if all of the math that goes before me created me, made me possible, created this garment that made it possible for me to even be able to buy it, all of that, all of the creativity that came before, and all of the, if we actually follow the math all the way back, then what it says is first cause, God, source, universe, is in, through, and as everything, which means everything we do, every hello, every handshake, every let me pause, affirm and know that this car is fine, and let me turn the ignition on again. All of it is God, source, spirit, all of it. And that everything we do, just as the ripples move to get us here, the ripples move from us out. That means there are people 10 years from now who, if they trace the good in their life backwards, who 100 years from now, if they trace their good backwards, you're in it. That means everything we do has a profound impact on everything. It is impossible to do something in God that doesn't touch all of God. God is one, oneness. Just like if we get it all into the same swimming pool and Ray too lazy to get out of the swimming pool, so Ray let loose the lemonade in the swimming pool.
Oh no!
Everybody in the swimming pool. Everybody in the swimming pool. Right? Like it's that. Every thought we think, there is. When we talk about God, let me ask a question. We say, there, how many mind God is? There's one mind. And that mind is God. And that mind is, fill in the blank. And that mind is?
Divine intelligence. Everything.
And your mind now. Which means the moment you think it, God is thinking it. There is only one life, and that life is God, and that life is, fill in the blank, and that life is your life now. That means everything you do with and as your life is God doing with and as your life. It doesn't get any more powerful than that. That is how we know that everything we do ripples forward and changes the very fabric of creation. All of life moves based upon your love, your joy, your happiness, your creative expression, all of it. None of it can exist in tiny little, even if I go home right now and I'm like, okay, so I'm going to stop being a minister, and all I'm going to do for now my life, I'm going to do decoupage. That's it. I mean, I'm going to decoupage everything. I'm going to decoupage plants. I'm going to do everything. That's going to be my new name, Reverend Decoupage. Okay. And I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to give it away. I'm not, just create. Okay. That still causes ripples. It can't help but to. Breathe. So by any chance, did anybody read today's Daily Guide? Okay. Y'all know who wrote the Daily Guides for this month?
Eugene. It's Reverend Decoupage.
Yes. Reverend Decoupage wrote the Daily Guides for February. So here we go. Ready? Sunday, February 15th. The Yellow Brick Road. You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself. Glenda. You have heard a great deal about the healing Christ who can come to you with power. Do you realize that this Christ is already here? This Christ is the incarnation of God in every individual. Surely God imparted itself to every soul. If you open the door of your consciousness and welcome this divine guest, it will enter. Ernest Holmes. We all probably are familiar with Dorothy's adventure along the yellow brick road. Today I want to invite you to embody a different yellow, B-R-I-C-K, road. B, being. R, recognize. I, imago Dei. C, centered. K, koan. What does the road mean for you to be? Who and what are you being at any given moment? Are you choosing your path or allowing your environment to choose it for you? Do you recognize yourself as imago Dei, the very image and likeness of God, source, and the universe? Do you only recognize this during meditation or during Sunday service? Or do you also recognize it when you are in traffic, sitting in the doctor's office, or watching something unpleasant on the news? When you are centered, what does your life look like? What are you able to do? What kinds of things knock you off center? Do you sit with the koans of life, the questions that seem to be unanswerable, or do you avoid them because they seem to be so uncomfortable? When a surgeon enters the operating room, do they question if they are truly a surgeon? Do they wonder, in the operating room, do they wonder if they are a good enough chef or musician? Hopefully not. Why then do we question our beauty, power, wonder, and divinity? Imagine what would be possible if we embodied our true nature fully and authentically. We often give up our sovereignty, which means we are limiting the creative possibilities that can come through us. Are you ready to embrace the power and possibilities you've had all along? Affirmation. I embrace, embody, and express the power that has me and that I have had all along. I use that power to heal and to manifest a world that works for all. The more we anchor and ground in the truth of who and what we are. Yes, I know there are things that happen in life that are so unpleasant. When the doctor told me that, yes, the test came back and it's prostate cancer, I did not jump up and down like, oh, now all I need to do is play the Powerball. Yes, can you, whoa. No, that was not my reaction. Things happen. Found out my mom made her transition during COVID. It wasn't like, yes, Lois is finally, woo. No. There is grief, there is sadness, there is frustration. These things happen. But do we let them change us? Or do we maintain the truth of who we are and we effectively change it? Which means I experience the grief. I experience the sadness. I experience the anger and frustration. I experience the overwhelm when I get phone calls and emails from people who want to pray about what's going on in the world and such. And I also know who and what I am to be able to go into the operating room of life with the scalpel of truth, to cut what needs to be cut, remove what needs to be removed, suture and stitch up what needs to be sutured and stitched up, and do the physical therapy with this person in whatever way will give them the ability to recover and live their life fully. That's the work. So it's not necessarily about, well, this or well, that. If we, moment by moment, if I came to each of you singularly, not in a group setting, because in a group setting, we tend to let the ego kick in and we're like, well, I don't want Deborah to know that I spilled my cup last week, but no one asked me to. I did it because I'm clumsy. You know, see, we get into that judgment-y thing. One-on-one, and I say, what do you want? in your life? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Because see, this idea of freedom has freedom from and freedom to. I want to be free from the trauma, the pain, the oppression, I want to be free from that and free to have true agency and authenticity and power and fun and life. How clear are you on which freedom you want? Are you able to verbalize it and say, in a way where the moment you are now at Whole Foods or wherever it is that you decided to shop today, when you out there rustling up the chickens and trying to come on now, get up in here. Get up in here. There's a fox over there. Get up in here. Because you know they listen to Deb. Stephen, she's calling us. Get over here. Because Stephen. It's like, I'm not a chicken today. I digress. So, when you are doing your regular everyday stuff in life, are you able to discern in that moment? Is this what I really want to do? Have I forgotten who I am? How do I want to engage this thing called life today? I have a courageous or challenging conversation with someone. How do I choose to show up in this conversation? Moment by moment, how do we access the truth of our being? Because that's how we manifest whatever it is we want to manifest. A world that works for all? Well, a world that works for all is a pipe dream and a cross your fingers and, it's the yoga position of luck. Om Shanti Lucky. Om Shanti Lucky. Yeah, but no, like, how are you creating, how are you manifesting? Because a world isn't going to work if your world doesn't work for you. And your world doesn't work for you. And your world and your world and your world and, right? Like, the world, there was a time where a great many people were happy and a lot of other people weren't. And so one of those people who was not happy, you probably heard of her. Her name was Harriet Tubman. She said, this ain't working for me, so I'm going to pack my bags and I'm up and out of here. And then she leaves. And she's like, okay, I feel like a stranger in a strange land, but you know what? Freedom isn't really free if I willingly know that they need help and I do nothing.
Amen.
So she risked time and time again to help others. A world doesn't work if it doesn't work here. So how are we cause and effect simultaneously? Because if God is all there is, and it is showing up in, through, and as us right now, and in the absolute, there is no such thing as time. God doesn't, oops, I'm late. Frodo needs to be fed today. Let me do what I needed. Right? It's just not the way it works. In the absolute, Spirit simply is. Simply is. In the relative, we have time. We operate based on time. We operate based upon duality and separation and names and labels and stuff. We operate, right? Because that's what we're here to do. But if in the absolute, the moment it is in the mind that is God, there is no separation from idea to creation. In the absolute, there is simply gratification. There's chicken egg. It's one and the same. So the moment you have an idea, it's already in your mind. Your mind is the same mind that God is. The law sitting back saying, okay, so, Oliver wants to play with that feather, but I'm not going to let him play with the feather today. But the law says, oh, you had an idea, you had a thought, boom, and the law moves. The law is always in effect, always. There's no time with it. So the moment you have an idea, oh, I want to write that book, the law is like, got it. let's see, you got to move these folks over there in the Ukraine and inspire this person in Italy, and what else is this? Oh, and that. And in Japan. Like, the law is already moving. Already. So that means in the absolute, in the mind that is in God, in the mind that is God, in the life that is God, the moment, the idea, it's already fully formed and fully functioning in the absolute. Which is why the moment you put a prayer request in the box, it's as good as done. Now, we can choose, for whatever reason, to be like, well, I know I said I wanted it, but, you know, I like arguing with my ex, so I really don't want peace and harmony in my life, because every time I see my ex, I call Reverend decoupage. Can you decoupage? Cover them up like, no? Oh, man. Right? Like, sometimes we resist the good for various reasons. We resist the thing that we say we want prayer for. We resist it. But that doesn't stop the motion. That doesn't stop the energy. The law is going to say, oh, you want potatoes this year. Oh, you changed your mind. Okay, we're doing what now? Oh, grapes. Oh, you don't even want grapes. Okay, apples. Okay, the law receives and it acts. The law receives and it acts. It doesn't say, I wish you would make up your mind which vegetables we doing. The law receives and it acts. Receives and it acts. So the clearer we are on what is the effect that I desire to experience, not just in my life, but as my life, what is that? And then one step back, what will cause that? What thoughts will help cause that? What words will help cause that? What feelings and emotions will help cause that? What actions will help cause that? What conversations, what relationships will help cause that? Whatever it is, I want an effect of greater health and well-being. What will help cause it? What kind of thoughts? What kind of words? Conversations, relationships, emotions and feelings and actions will help cause that. I want my book, okay? I got you. But why? Why do you want your book to be? Because I believe that it'll help people. Okay, why do you want to help people? Like, break it down to the most basic, and somewhere in there, and this is one of the reasons why, listen up, people. This is one of the reasons why we resist, because we have bought into the lie that this is ego. When you boil it all the way down, we want what we want because it feels good. It's joy, it's happiness, it's contentment. When you boil it all the way down, I want to be happy. I want to feel joy. I want to experience love. I want to be appreciated. I want to belong. I want to connect. That's why I want my book to be written. That's why I want my book to be published. I want it to connect with people. I love the interactions with people and the questions, and there's nothing wrong with that. Feel it and build from that. Breathe. Is it all right if I pray us out?
Sure.
So we breathe and begin at the end. Begin with the amen.
Amen.
Begin with the and so it is. And so it is that I live, move, and have my beingness as joy personified. Amen, that I know that that which God is love. Therefore, that which I am is a divine expression of love. Amen, which means everything I do, love does. Everywhere I go, love goes. Amen. Amen, that every time I greet and meet and hug and high five and fist bump and whatever, another human being, it is God interacting with itself. I know this. Amen. Amen, because it gives me the opportunity to connect with the divinity that everyone else is as well. It reminds me of my own divinity. Amen. Amen, that this means that the joy and the laughter and the wonder of the universe makes every cell of my body move. Every atom and every molecule. It is the thing that knits the muscles and the tissues and the fibers together. All of it is the way the universe is expressing. Amen. Amen. Because what this means is that no matter what I do, and when I say I mean we, no matter what I do, nothing could make me any less spirit, any less love, any less wisdom, any less beauty, creativity, imagination. Even if I do not use it in this moment, I'm not doing decoupage right now, but at any moment I can because I have access. Amen. Amen. That as Dr. Holmes gave us, we believe that heaven is within and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. Well, I am conscious of it now. I am heaven expressing. I live in heaven. I manifest heaven. I interact with others in this thing called heaven till such a time as a world that works for all, heaven is manifest. And the experience for every person, every animal, every blade of grass, every grain of sand, every ecosphere, every spoonful of water, all of it radiates with this power and presence, love, joy. That is what I cause, and that is the effect that I, through my own consciousness, bring into being. And the law receives, which means amen isn't something we simply say at the end of a prayer. Amen is the way that we live our lives. Every breath is prayer. Every word is prayer. Every step we take is prayer. Prayer is the way that God lives its life as us. That means it's done. It's right here and it's right now. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.